Hey, don't wait for companies to improve their diversity, equity, inclusion. You need to advocate for yourself instead. Hi, I'm Deidre Wright, a personal brand advisor and former diversity and inclusion director at Business Insurance Magazine. So I say this from a place of I've actually done this kind of work, and I also have my mind and eyes open to the fact that we have to really advocate for ourselves. No one's going to do something for us that we won't do for ourselves, and unfortunately, that's the way the world is. So if you're waiting for your company to get it together to actually create sustainable change, you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life. And I don't know about you, but I don't have time to waste for me creating my whole income that's stable and think about generational wealth for me to grow and promote my career. I just can't wait for that. So if you can wait for that, good for you. But let's be real. After George Floyd's death, there was a great awakening about diversity, inclusion, and a lack of that, racism, bigotry. And the issue with that is a lot of us been woke about this, whether you've experienced discrimination yourself, heard about, or just literally you've seen the glass ceilings. They might be invisible to others, but it's been pretty damn apparent to you and me. And the thing about that is that we got all of this, let's say, noise out there about a lack of inclusion, a lack of diversity. And the thing about that hasn't been any real action. So if you can afford to put your career on standstill while companies get it together, that is great for you. But many of us just can't wait. So you just can't wait for your company to get it together. You need to advocate for your dream career, advocate for your needs, because no one's going to give us anything we don't ask and demand for ourselves. Try that again. Let's say no one's going to give you anything you don't ask for and demand for yourself. There's now the time to do that. Diversity, equity, inclusion, that ain't nothing new. It's been around forever. There's always been diversity out there, whether it's on a racial level, gender level, on a ability level. It's always been there. But how come now companies want to magically care about the lack of inclusion, lack of diversity? There's been some companies who have chief diversity officers in place for over a decade. What have they been doing? And I'm not trying to blame necessarily those people in those positions, but has the company actually rallied with them to actually create sustainable change? Have they actually created an environment and budget for these people to do their jobs effectively? I know when I was doing the work, I didn't actually have that kind of resource and opportunity. So I know other companies don't have that. And also, are these people actually in a position to create sustainable change? Or are they just being puppets and having these positions to appease the audience or shareholders? And like I said, I do not want to necessarily blame those people in those positions, but what is the system around them to support them for this change and inclusion? And I'm sorry about this. Not everyone's actually meant for the job. So us as professionals, especially diverse professionals, we have to look out for ourselves. No one's going to look out for us better than we can look out for ourselves. Let's be honest too. HR has traditionally done a lot of this work. Elephant in the room has we addressed those who see it. See, stories connect us. Exactly. You see it. And historically, HR has been protecting companies, not protecting the people. Protecting companies. That's what they're hired to do. We can't get mad at HR for doing their job. Their job just ain't about us. And advocating for our needs and what we need, which are safe environments to share our situations when we deal with discrimination or deal with glass ceilings safely, so that we don't get penalized, whether that is literally penalized from being, not asked to be in meetings, not having a seat at the table, or literally people just start excluding you for inner circle. So you don't have access to that social capital or to that information that can help propel the career. These are true fact situations that happen all day, every day. And now that we're in an online world, it ain't getting any better. I say this because before you can go down the hallway and see who's talking at someone's cube, now you don't even know who's DMing who's messaging who's emailing who. And if you're not on that thread, you don't have a seat at the table. So like I said, you can wait if you want to for these companies to get it together, or you can advocate for yourself, because time is not of the essence. Time is now. The time is now for you to advocate for your needs as a professional, whether you're in corporate America, nonprofits, wherever you're doing. Are you a diverse vendor right now? Because you know what? These companies love to have diversity, equity, inclusion supplier programs, but what are the commissions they're splitting with you? If they need you to get a government contract or get a contract with a client, but they ain't trying to split commissions right, what the hell? Why do we need these people? Why do we need these companies to treat us like shit? Just because we think we need this to get ahead in life. No, what we need to get ahead in life is to advocate for ourselves, our best interests, and what our dream career is, because no one's going to look out for ourselves but ourselves. So I'm telling you right now, like I said, I don't want to necessarily say that it's all bad, but okay, can we work together while consultants are working with companies and chief diversity officers or whatever are working with companies? Can we also work simultaneously to get what we want out of our career since we actually know what we want? Yes, we can. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, but if you want to wait, keep on waiting, baby. We've been waiting for a while. And guess what that got us? People just now realizing a year ago that racism exists, even though all the evidence out there structurally that racism, bigotry, hatred does exist. People just chose to speak about it because it was trendy or because there were protests. And if we want to be frank, why are people protesting? Because they had nothing else to do. They were at home, grounded for a year, felt like getting outside. And some people cared about it, but a lot of people got restless and were just out in the streets because they didn't have anything else to do because they could not ignore it anymore. When you are stuck at home watching the news, seeing people get, who are dying because no one's looking out for them because a lot of them are Black and brown or poor. And once that was like the issue that people who were more from Black and brown areas or communities were getting hurt more by this virus, people stopped caring and start checking out. And when you see on the TV every day, this man get murdered and that's on repeat, whether it's George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, like people had to say something because they were stuck seeing that. Now that is great and all, but the stats have shown that white people or allies who were down with the cause a year ago are less interested now. So I'm sorry, these decision makers, because typically white people are in influential positions. It's not always the case, but typically white men, that's the patriarchy, that society we live in. They tend to be in these decision-making roles at these companies. They lose an interest. What does that mean for you and me? We gonna keep on waiting for the next murder for someone to care about us? Or are we gonna keep on caring about ourselves because we know that we deserve a seat at the table? We know we're just as competent, sometimes more than other people. But we know that there also are ceilings to our success because structurally they've been creating there by design to keep us out of the opportunities for create generational wealth. Do you have platforms for change? Do you have these different people being seen and sought after in their industries and fields? That's the thing. A lot of companies pledge money. My thing is when they were pledging money and giving away money a year ago, did they have diverse people at the table saying where they want those monies and to be directed at? It's a question. It's great you want to give money, but who decided that? Did someone say, oh, that's a great organization, let me just give money here? Or did you actually consult a diverse group of people to say, what would best serve your needs? And then what's happening? What's the follow-up? Any report on like, okay, the money went where? What is that doing for the organization? What is that doing for the diverse talent at your company right now who are probably going through microaggressions, probably still waiting for that promotion, or if nothing else, let's say what are they getting? They're getting tasked with diversity inclusion tasks on top of their job, which are probably underpaid and undervalued for. So not only are they doing the same work for less, they're actually doing more work. And it's more emotional labor. I'm telling you, because I hear people still work in corporate who are like, yeah, I'm doing diversity inclusion work. It's a lot of work. Yes, it is. It's actually an actual career. So you're doing 2 jobs now at your one job because they're burdening you with the extra labor instead of actually contracting a consultant who's expert in this space. Or if you are doing the work, they need to compensate you somehow, whether it's like, fluctuating your time actually working or time off or some kind of compensation. Status form is indifference. We need to educate ourselves about the challenges of those who experience outside. That is so true. And I say this, I am not holier than thou. I do not have all the answers. Not saying I don't have any biases, but I'm consciously working to check those biases, to learn those biases, to see those biases. If we are not open to understanding that our point of view is not standard and that everyone has different points of views and different experiences, if we don't understand that, we are fundamentally lost. And that is the key thing. And the issue is for when people are not in position of power, and if you have multiple, so for example, I'm a Black woman who's bisexual. I kind of see different perspectives on things because I'm in different marginalized groups. And so the more you're able to see this, you're able to see, that does not mean that you are the perfect person. So you have no discrimination or no bias in your heart. But at the same time, you're able to see different points of views because literally you sit in different points of view. And then we don't try to look at other people's perspective. It's just really, really harmful. But like I said, we can either wait for companies to give a fuck about us, or we can care about our own damn selves and advocate for our dream careers, advocate for our dream businesses, create our own things on the side. our own streams of income. Because when it comes to layoffs that come around, about the holiday season, who's going to be the ones disproportionately laid off? Typically, Black and brown people are women. That is what happens. I mean, if I'm lying, you tell me I'm flying, but that's typically what happens. And so you got to protect yourself, your best interest, your family, your legacy, because these companies will exploit us till we have nothing else to give. Till we're giving all of our actual job energy, these extra diversity work energy, or mentoring people. We're helping people not really calm down when they're going through emotional things, when they're going through microaggressions. Like, we are doing above and beyond, at the same time trying to manage our lives during this crazy world and pandemic. Yep, I've been there too and said, nah, I'm not going to do that. Y'all need to educate yourself. I'm definitely not going to do the work for you. Exactly. We're educating people, and we need to educate ourselves on how to say no to things. No, I'm not going to teach you something that you can easily Google, because your laziness is more, your comfort of asking me for information is more valued than my discomfort of reliving a traumatic experience and explaining why it was traumatic. People want this trauma porn in which they see us and make us do extra work outside, but not compensating us for that. And the thing about that, how many people have seen announcements over positions, new positions in different industries? Like, I follow the insurance industry. I'm sure you have different industries you guys work in. That's one. And for a second, you did see some women and people of color getting promotion, but majority haven't been that. And I look at the magazines, see a lot of people who are mostly white men still getting quoted, or white women. And I say this, no shade to them. I have no shade for people who are thought leaders in the areas getting recognized. My issue is this is not the only kind of leadership that's available within your market, within your industry. And you have to reflect what is there. The unseen talent is there. Just because you don't see them does not mean they don't exist. It's like atoms in air. You may not see it, but it's real. Just like diverse talent does exist. And we actually have options now. We don't have to suffer in these corporations. We don't have to be underpaid and undervalued. We don't have to. We've had to deal with things because that was our context before. We didn't have options. Now we do. So don't wait for your company to get down with the DEI. You get down with advocating for your needs, because that's way more value, way more important, and way more practical. It's like anything in life. You can wait for your partner to treat you right, or you can just raise your standards for who you date and find someone who treats you right. Like, it's just that easy. You have to start inside and advocate for what you need. And I say this because a lot of us are getting burnt out, and we're like, is this it? Is this all I have for me to be having this complacent corporate job or nonprofit job where I just feel burnt out every day? I'm trying really hard, and I'm not getting seen and recognized. And like I said, I see in these magazines and in these periodicals and these different organizations, still mostly white men being recognized. Like I said, that is fine. But at the same time, we're the other people. Or if people are getting recognized or quote, it's for some diversity stuff. Stop asking diverse people to talk about diversity. Ask them to talk about their actual field of expertise. It's like, think about this. If someone's an accountant, ask them about some accounting principles or best practices. Don't ask them what it's like to be a woman or be gay in the field. Yeah, that's part of who we are, but we're here to do work. We are here to actually be thought leaders in our space, not talk about our identities, but talk about our thought leadership. That is what we're trying to do. So when you're like, oh, you over there, talk about your minority experience. Okay, cool. I'll in certain contexts, yeah, but I'm here because I want to be known as a thought leader that's seen and sought after in my space. And when you limit people to those kind of positions, it's just so limiting, and you're losing out on a lot of potential for thought leadership from so many excellent people. But I say this because if you look around, check out the magazines in your industry, whether it's accounting, engineer, tech, whatever it is. Still a lot of people, it's not that much diversity. If you see it, they're typically getting quoted about something diverse or inclusion related, which has nothing to do with their damn job. So I say this now because we have to really advocate. How do we be seen and sought after as thought leaders in our areas of expertise, not for our identities? I don't want to be recognized for just being what I look like. I want to be recognized for being someone of impact, of change, helping businesses achieve goals, helping people feel empowered. Now, part of my identity is who I am, but I don't only want to speak about that. Like, we have more to offer than diversity. We have more to do than just entertain and dribble balls. And we have a role in corporate America. We have a role in nonprofit America. We have a role around the world, really, in all of these different industries. It doesn't have to be limited to just that. And I think we have to think about like what is the next steps? What should we be doing instead of waiting for companies to get their shit together to start giving a fuck about us and our needs and our safety psychologically, environmentally, and to actually see that we are worth the damn when it comes to our compensation. Because if okay, for example, companies those are pay inequalities, they have all the data and tools and HR systems to figure out what should the standard rate be for this job and how do we just start paying everyone with the title the same. Obviously factor in geographical areas, but you have the data. Y'all just don't have the actual initiative or motivation to make an actual damn change. That is a difference. You need to define a platform and a movement that connects with your identity and your audiences. Well, yeah, like I think that's the thing. You talk about my identity influences what I say and do. Obviously, I speak from experience as a woman, a person, a Black woman, and a woman, a younger woman or a single mom. Like I have my identity, but that's not all I have to offer. I think your point, Jay, and I know we talked about personal branding. It's like that is your perspective. That's your unique value proposition. I can connect with people that others can't. For example, when I did work in corporate, I was the youngest. I mean, in my group, for the people at my entry level position, I was the only parent. But at first, it seemed like a disadvantage because I could not connect with my peers who were going out partying every weekend. I wasn't doing that stuff. But my boss's boss had a kid a couple months older or younger than mine. So we were able to connect, and I was able to connect to different people because even though my peers and I had different, let's say, lifestyles, I was able to connect with people at the higher level position because we were in the same kind of, let's say, stage of life when it comes to family. And so it's that influenced my way to connect with them and talk with them organically about things as well as business. But it's like, yes, your identity is a part of who you are, but that's not everything you are. And I'm only going to get quoted about my experience of being a woman. Like, what is the whole point of that? Yes, you need to make sure you are not talking to everyone. You need to be very specific to your audience and that's how you connect. That is so true. And so I say this, what we need to do instead is pitch your promotion, pitch your opportunities, pitch yourself, be your own publicist. If you're not speaking about yourself to captivate audiences and get people who are going to ride and die for your dreams, your dream career, dream life, dream income, then you got to work on that. Tell people what you want to do. Tell your boss, hey, I want to get promoted a year from now. What do I have to do to get promoted? Ask the damn question. Or ask your audience, hey, what are some products or services that you need? What are the problems you're facing? And then create a service or product to solve that gap. Like, it's just that simple. I know it seems simple, but really just start asking the questions, having these things, promoting yourself, putting yourself out there, because we're waiting for companies to care about us. It may never happen, or your company may not be the one for you. There might be other company who does care for you. But if you're so stuck at your company, you're missing out on opportunities for another company over there who does recognize your value, who does recognize you as that thought leader that you need to be and that you are meant to be in your field. You also need to promote your thought leadership. I'm sorry, y'all. It's time to get in front of the camera. It's time to start writing. It's time to be out there and speaking. If you're not seen, it's hard for it to be recognized. Visibility is everything. At a certain point in your career, people think you're capable. If you have a certain title or you've been in the game for a certain amount of years, people assume like you know what you're talking about. Now it's about how do you best position yourself as a thought leader, so when people need a perspective on an industry trend or a company or whatever, they're like, I want to go to you to talk about it. Let's catch up. Definitely, let's catch up. And I say this because we need to think about how do we position ourselves to be those thought leaders, those go-to experts in our field. When there's a conference, you have to be there. Or if there is some kind of private meeting or, brainstormer session, you have to be in the room where it happens. If you're not constantly being asked to be in the room where it's happened, you're going to be lonely where you're at. And I know a lot of us, it's a mindset thing. I don't know what to say. I'm an introvert. I don't have the confidence. I'm going to validate those are probably true things. But I'll also validate the fact that you probably have access to things like the internet to look up some ways to be more confident, look up some ways to be more, let's say, captivating on camera. You can look this up. We are so smart, especially with this generation. We have so much access to information that we can really break through these excuses to break through to where we want to be at in our career and our company by being thought leaders who are visible, seen, and sought after. You have coaches out there, you have organizations, you have a lot of programs, but we can no longer be in the background How we should be in the limelight and spotlight, showcasing our talents and attributes because one, for your own selfish gain, for your career promotion, your business promotion, but also for the generations to come. Sometimes you're the only one who looks like you in your field. I met a lot of interesting people doing what I do, being a personal brand advisor. I met like black puppeteers, tarot card readers, spiritual life coach, a lot of these different unique people. I'm like, I didn't know we had jobs like that, but that's cool. Now I have someone to refer to. Someone wants to say, how do I get in this field, and have someone to talk to that looks like them. Sometimes we have to be that first person to be seen out there to inspire the next generation to take that job. So when the next person says, I want to be a tech executive, they think of people like Mandela, who has Founder Jim, who helps minorities get VC funding for their companies. A wonderful, amazing service. But if you aren't seen and sought after, people don't know that's actually something that they can do or that exists. We have to be seen to be, one, visible for our own careers, but also visible for the next generation to try to be us, because they see us and like, I can be it because I see it. Also, you want to think about like, what is my network doing around me? How can I really cultivate a network that supports my success? Who should I be connecting with? What does that mean for my time? A lot of us say we're too busy to network, but we're not too busy to watch Netflix or Hulu or something else. Hey, I love the idea of like vegging out and watching some TV. I just binge watched Little Fires Everywhere. Amazing show. But I also make time to connect with people because I know that part of my success journey is connecting with people who elevate my mindset, elevate my possibilities, because I see them doing amazing things. And it's not about using people. It's like, who can inspire me to level up my game so that I'm not showing up short for myself. If I have all my friends doing power moves, building businesses, building careers, building families, building lifestyles, building legacies that they want, looking for balance in life, I'm more likely to be that person too. If I surround myself with people who make excuses, who are burnt out, who don't have time for their loved ones, who don't have time for their businesses and their careers, I'm probably going to be the same person. And you know what? I'm not willing to sacrifice that. I'm not willing to sacrifice my legacy to be around mediocre people. Don't want to do that. So for you, what are you doing to invest in your brand, invest in your network, invest in your legacy to be seen and sought after so that you have control over your career and the company does not have control over you? A lot of us look at these golden handcuffs and it's great and all, but then you sell your soul to the company because every year you're getting passed over or you're getting delayed in your promotion, or you're seeing your peers who started at the same time as you skyrocket their career when they're doing less than you are. And I'm telling you, a lot of it's self-promotion. So we got to think about this. So don't wait for companies to get it together with their diversity, equity, inclusion plans, especially if you are a minority or some kind of underserved community or whatever, because you will wait the rest of your life. I mean, how long ago did slavery happen? A couple hundred years. How long ago did women get the right to vote? 100 years ago? These things, I mean, we're still battling issues right now. And I'm saying that there's different groups have their own, let's say challenges, things going on. But we can't wait forever. We have to demand more for ourselves. And that means advocating for what we need. So if you're like, I am beyond ready to be a seen and sought after leader in my field, I want the spotlight. I do not want to be out there undervalued, underpaid, underestimated anymore. Book a call with me. Go to djwright.com. I will help you be a seen and sought after leader in your space because we can no longer wait to be in the spotlight. Now is the time to be seen and heard. All right. Thank you.